First, my obeisance to my Guru Pada Padma Shri Bhaktivedanta Shri Vamana Goswami Maharaj, and also to the Vishnu Vishnupada. Astutra Shastri Shri Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Innumerable obeisances again and again. Dandavat Pranam to their lotus feet. At the same time also, Pranam Sunitali Vishnu Vishnupada Swami Maharaj, and also to all the Vaishnava Vrindas, Vaishnava present here, to all the mothers, so the devotees immersed in Mahaprabhu, to those thirsty to listen to Harikatha, to all my, please accept my Dandavat Pranams. So today we were listening I think Chaitanya Bhagavat Vrindavan Das Thakur, he wrote the character of the Vaishnavas. If you listen and sing about the character of the Vaishnavas, it's so much auspicious for the living entities. Because the glory of the devotees of Lord is there even more glories of the devotees of Lord than of Lord himself. The Srimad Bhagavatam explains just a little bit the character or the personality of Krishna. But Srimad Bhagavatam everywhere is explaining about the glories of the devotees of Lord. Only a little bit of Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, but the character of the devotees everywhere, from the first canto of the Bhagavatam until now Bhagavatam is the character of the devotees. Dhruva, Prahlad, Ambarish, all these great personalities character in Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because how a devotee, after doing bhajan and sadhana, can attain to Lord? That's why Rupa Goswami Pada, he wrote that, when we listen about this great sadhana that great personalities of the past did, and also when we listen and think about this, we think, in my life, what to speak of attaining to Lord, I'll never be able to attain to Shraddha in this life. In the ancient times, the bhajan sadhana that they did, some great personalities, like so much great austerities and renunciation. Serving to Guru Vaishnava. completely surrendering themselves to the service. And when I see myself, I see where I am. Where am I? What? I'm not even doing the bhajan. I don't even have the nishta in the Gurudev. If I would even have the shraddha and the nishta in Gurudev, then my life would be successful. So many people of this world, they come and go. How many people they take birth in this world, and then later again they leave this world. So many people. But see, if you think or remember about these people, we think about the portions that before leaving this world, they did some ideal thing in their lives. They follow some idealism in their lives. Then we'll remember them. Before leaving this world, they showed, for example, bhajan pranali, process of bhajan in an ideal way, and then they did these things like this and left this world. And these kind of human beings, when they come and go to this world, really, this is really like successful and meaningful. Because otherwise, so many people come in this world and go away also. Who will remember them later? Who will remember them? In this material world, also material poets, and also politicians or presidents and scientists, like writers. In this world, people remember this kind of people also, and even they celebrate sometimes their day which they were born, and also the day of their death. This happens in this world. Those people who, for example, let's speak about the Indian culture. If I don't understand, those who sacrifice themselves, especially the one who they have set free the country from the British government. How these people sacrifice themselves. But until nowadays in the history, in the material history, until nowadays, their names are written in history. Until nowadays, people remember these people who helped the country for independence. And also, they always glorify these people with faith like this. But actually, these material conceptions, it's a still vichar means a gross conception. For example, we say we are Indians. If we took birth in India, then we said we are Indians. But after the death, if I take birth in Pakistan, then I'll be a Pakistani. Who I am, I'm Paki. What I want to say is, when we take birth in a specific country, we sacrifice ourselves for that country. We believe we are from that country like this. But actually, we can say that the Atma is like eternal, never dies. Completely pure, never takes birth, never dies. The body changes, takes birth and death. When we change the body, we forget about previous life. We're just like fighting over things, but actually it's only plays of Maya. It's like Maya ki khel, like playing of Maya. Jogos de Maya. But if we see that just a spiritual life, actually, how to make a human being life successful is that human being that is doing his own bhajan and sadhana. And also he is showing some idealism in his bhajan. This person's life is successful. He's doing bhajan himself, and also he is engaging others in bhajan and sadhana. Like Prahlada Maharaj himself said, so many people they do the bhajan and sadhana in this world. So many people they do renunciation for attaining the mukti. They do for themselves these things. This is selfishness. Lord Maharaj said, Hey Bhagavan, those who do renunciation for their own liberation, this is selfishness. But that human being, he does his own bhajan and also he engages other in bhajan as well. His life is really successful, meaningful. Bhajan should be like this idealism in the bhajan, just like our previous acharyas they did, Rup Sanatan, etc. All of the acharyas that we see, they themselves used to do the bhajan and sadhana and also put others also to do the bhajan and sadhana. So there are two kinds of sadhakas. There's bhajananandi, goshtanandi. Two ways of doing the bhajan. Bhajananandi and goshtanandi. Bhajananandi, he is feeling only this bliss in his own bhajan and he's immersed in this bliss. Just by seeing these kind of people, this bhajananandi, your heart becomes pure just by seeing them. Goshtanandi, he is doing the bhajan and also he engage others in doing the bhajan. But it's not easy at all to put one person to engage one person in bhajan. Bhaktisiddhanta Srila Saraswati Prabhupada, he used to say, to take out one person from the clutches of the Maya, how much? 400 gallons of blood it's needed for that. Have to give 400 gallons. You understand? 1 gallon means 4.55 liters. So que mathematics, 400 times 400 vezes 4.55 litros. 400. Because not easy at all to make the person engage in the bhajan and sadhana. You have to be like following him like all the time. Nobody wants to do bhajan and sadhana. You have to love him, feed him, make him drink something, love him, you have affection with him, like you have to like chasing after him. Then he will come, give some time to the bhajan. You have to do everything for him. Then slowly he will come. His Sukriti will come. Have to also sometimes honor him. Sometimes also need to chastise him. I'm saying that so those who like to do the bhajan and to engage others in bhajan. Those who don't do the bhajan, how they will put others in the bhajan as well? If he himself is not chanting Harinam and say, hey, chant Harinames, say to others, but the person will not do. The father tells son, do pranam, obeisance. Son says, father, but you didn't do, why are you telling me to do? So you also have to follow yourself, behave like that. You have to follow those things and then preach that same thing which we are following. This is everything Chaitanya Bhagavata Shloka. If we're not acharanshil, means if we're not following the behavior, we cannot tell others to also to do that until when you're going to do by force. That's why this word acharya comes from the achirant, means that person he himself behaves like follows that behavior, and he shows in his life ideal behavior. And their followers, they see that and also become impressed. So if you don't follow in yourself that life, that how can you tell the others to follow that thing you're saying? So Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada said in his Upakhanapadesh, in his 108 instructions of Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, he wrote like this: if you just preach but you not follow, this is within the karma. Means you should follow yourself also, and after following also, then you can just try to engage others in following it. If you yourself don't chant holy names, don't chant your Gayatri mantra, how can you engage others in that? So this is what I want to say. And I also need to give all the energy, inner Shakti to this person trying to engage in the bhajan, like a love and affection to him, like this. It's very difficult. The Goshthanandi bhajan is very difficult job, difficult task. Because persons came with different samskara. Some people with sattvic, rajasic, tamasic nature, different people, understand? And different samskaras, each people, and then you have to engage this person in the bhajan. It's not easy at all. Some people are lazy. You know, alasik means lazy. Some people is crazy. Some people is lazy and crazy, don't know what to do. Have to engage this person in the bhajan with love and affection. So I was going to discuss the katha. That person that before leaving this world, he shows idealism in his process of bhajan. His life successful. आज हम इस महापुरुष की और उत्तम भागवत की चर्चा हम करते हैं. So we're going to discuss about this kind of people. What's the Bhakti Swarup Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj? Today is Sister of Bhavati. He is the Guru, Diksha Guru of Shri Sridhar Maharaj. The one who used to be Rasan Prabhu before taking sannyas. I had the good fortune to meet him in Navadvip. When I used to stay in Navadvip sometimes. In this Radha Bazar Mart, we used to go for having darshan of this temple because his temple is very beautiful. The temple is so beautiful. All decorated with leelas on the walls like this. Then that's why after the other temples also put these leelas on the wall because of his temple. Because it's so beautiful. People want to come to see these leelas on the wall. They also used to serve in a beautiful way also. The place was small. This temple was small, but very beautiful, decorated. Entendi muito bem. Radha Bazar Mart, uma coisa assim. Então, todo o pessoal, all people from all Gaudiya Math used to come to have darshan of his temple. His mart especially. You could see 3 deities there. One, which deity? One monkey, like putting a hand, like closing his 3 monkeys. One closing his eyes, another closing his ears, another one closing his mouth. Because when some brahmacharis used to come for the temple to have darshan, then they would ask, what did you see? I had a darshan of the monkeys, but what is the teaching of these monkeys? We should not see the faults in others. We should close our mouth, means we should not speak about others and criticize others. And closing your ears means you should not listen to criticism of others. What is speaking of others and criticize others? This make you fall in the bhakti. Because offense. As Mahaprabhu said. There's no benefits of criticize to others. In the Bhakti Shkadeva Goswami told, hey Maharaj Parikit, what's the benefit of criticizing or glorifying people of this world? You just waste time. Glorifying or criticizing, you just waste your time. That person can criticize, like that person is actually can purify that person. That person can chastise the person. If he can purify that person, means that person who really does the bhajan and sadhana and can really, for example, Gurudev, whatever brahmachari used to do like wrong, he used to take his ears and beat him. Gurudev, Shalnarayan Maharaj, ऐसे के, Shalnarayan Maharaj ऐसे के. Okay, Shila Vamana Maharaj, Vamana Maharaj used to do that. Everybody used to sit, had to sit for Harikatha. If some brahmachari is doing the service, everybody had to sit down. I think he's talking about Narayan Maharaj, because I lost the beginning of the sentence. Sorry. So yes, Narayan Maharaj. So when you used to go from the Parikrama, big, small, everybody should sit down for his Harikatha. Even some God brothers will not come. And then Narayan Maharaj said, hey Prajita, come here. Everybody comes here. Krishna Kripa, come here for Harikatha. Only 2 persons did not have to sit down his Harikatha. He used not to tell them. These 2 persons were Srila Bhaktivedanta Vikram Maharaj and Srila Gurudeva Srila Vamana Maharaj. But other rest of everyone, he used to call for the Harikatha. Listen, Harikatha. You have to enter the Siddhanta. And also used to ask questions. Sometimes some God brothers would be angry, but he used to affectionate say, because this conception of Vishnu Kavatipada and so beautiful, such a beautiful language of things written. And so what I want to say is, after also following that in your life, then you can engage others in the bhakti. Understand? If we haven't even followed ourselves in that life, our life, sorry. If you say to others, there's no benefit in that. If you tell others. So we should preach after also following that ourselves in our life. We should be established in achar, means in following that. The more you are established in the achar, means in following the things, the more you can preach. The more you follow achar, the more you can preach. So I was talking about Srila Bhakti Swarup Siddhanta Maharaj. His life, you can see. How he came to the temple, and his body, he had a gigantic body. His name was Siddha Swarup, Brahmachari. And he took Dikshamans from Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. The sound of his throat was just like a conch sound, the conch. He could speak without mic, and the sound was so loud because he didn't need the mic, because his. We have seen sadhus, but the sadhus of Gaudiya Math, his body was so big. His thigh was so big, and he used to sit down like this. And his voice sound was like the conch. Very deep also. Sorry, his voice sound was very deep. Like, in Bangladesh, in Bengali, they say like this. Like first, sorry. So we're not using this so much for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Otherwise, you can make offense. Like they say in Bengali something like, oh, first you see the sadhu, then you accept him as guru or not, like this. Then Gurudev is saying, because actually Gaudiya Siddhanta, that is not so much applicable. Because, for example, Baladev Prabhu, he was very skinny, very skinny. And he went to the Jaipur to speak about that thing that they didn't want that Srimati Radhika stay in the side of Govinda, Krishna. Because they wanted to put Rukmini or Satibam, because they are really married to Krishna. Because Archana is Vidya Marga, so I have to... How to put Srimati Radhika being worshipped of Krishna if they're not married? They were speaking like this, no? And also the name of Srimati Radhika is not in Bhagavatam, it is in Jaipur, this discussion was going on. So the Panditas especially, from other Sampradayas especially, for example, Ramanuja Sampradaya, they spoke many things about this, and they wanted to change the things of Radha being with Krishna in the temple of Govindadev. But Vishwanath Chakravarti had one disciple. Vishwanatha Chakravarti had one Shiksha disciple. He was Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, and Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu went in the assembly. He was so thin, skinny. In the assembly, all the other sadhus were very fat, like big, healthy. But the Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, just so skinny, so much. So when people saw him, because people think sadhu, like, he must be really big, like reddish and big. Esquece, não sei se ele falou lá, eu achei que ficou. Olha lá com barrigão, big belly and big body. Lá, that's it. Red? Okay, healthy. Maybe he's not the holy name or not. But his Japamala has 5 kgs, and he puts from his head to his neck, but maybe he's not even chanting. So the Bhagavata says this. É verso. Mas não sei a tradução. Ele não falou, não sei. Enfim. So, we are just saying that in Bengali it says, first you have to see the dance sadhu, and then you have to think if he's guru or not. But this Siddhanta is not proper. It's not into Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. The Vaishnava can be skinny or fat. No. Actually, how is his Siddhanta? How is his bhajan? This is the thing. Huh? Sorry, Kirai? Okay. Just like in the Sanatana Mandir, in this Rama Mandir, the Pujari, he has one. Sorry, I couldn't understand exactly. So, except for Gaudiya Math, everywhere they have this rent, like you have to give money, and then you can give the preaching. Also, a person to do the Thakur Puja. Rental Pujari means like do you think Bhakti will come from this? Like people, they pay pujaris to do the puja, and also to give the pravachan, to give the harikatha, like this. In all of the temples are like this, except for Gaudiya Mata, Gurudev Singh. So Baladev Vishnu Prabhu was very skinny. And all the other great sadhus, big sadhus said, oh, who is this skinny person? Where did he come from? But the king of Jaipur had faith to the Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and called Vishnu Chakravarti from Vrindavan to come to the assembly, and gave 5 minutes only for Baladev Vishnu Prabhu. So the great sadhus, big sadhus, he gave so much time for them to speak, but for this skinny sadhu, only a little bit of time. Because if it's a big sadhu, then a lot of time to speak, and if it's a skinny sadhu, he has less time to speak. Okay, he can speak only 5 minutes. But in these 5 minutes, everybody became like amazed because what happened? He gave so many quotations of all the Shastras. How is the name of Srimati Radhika and where? And how? She is actually the eternal potency of Krishna. He gives so many evidences for that. Established Srimati Radhika is like Sarva Lakshmi. So actually he spoke for 5 minutes, actually for 5 hours. And all the sadhus, they were just like, they looked like completely like infected sadhus, like under some spell, because they were just like looking like this. They couldn't do anything because they all stopped looking the watch. Because when we look to the watch, when you don't have taste for the Harikatha, but you have some ruchi, some taste for Harikatha, you'll not be looking to the watch like to the clock. Like even 1 hour looks like 5 minutes if you like what you're listening. But if 5 minutes look like 1 hour. This is true. So the same way. When he started the quotation, each sloka from Veda, Purana and Upanishad, describing all, giving the evidences. All the sadhus, they just like look under spell like this, listening like completely like mesmerized. Nobody said, oh, now it's time for you to stop. Nobody said this, like because he had only 5 minutes to speak. They looked like completely under spell, like, oh, we never heard this thing in my life. Never heard this. Now finally my eyes are open. Parece que sim, ele falou. So where was the name of Srimati Radhika in the Veda Purana Upanishad? He told everything. Where did Krishna get married? He told everything. Baladev Vishnu Prabhu. The Mayavadis were so also surprised. So the Siddha Swarup Brahmachari, how he used to speak now when he used to go for the preaching. He went to Assam, to Manipur, to preach there. Because people of Bengal, in Bengal they have this the Rabindranath Thakur and also the Ramakrishna Mission. People like so much this. If you say something against the Vivekananda and the Ramakrishna Mission in Bengal, people not like at all. What are you saying? He said another name also. I said the Rabindranath, but another name he said. So they have this kind of faith. These people. So this Siddha Swarup Brahmachari in a big assembly. Where these people of Vivekananda, because these Bengali were following this Vivekananda, and everybody was in this assembly. And he told against Vivekananda in this big assembly. And he said directly, this Vivekananda is, couldn't understand. Bhikkhu means stupid nonsense. Okay, he told Vivekananda stupid nonsense in this big assembly. And so he quoted one katha saying, Vivekananda said, he was saying that what is the benefit of watering the tulsi plant? You'll not get anything by watering tulsi plant. Give water to the eggplant and then later you eat the eggplant. have to maintain your body healthy like this. But also reading Gita is like useless. Nothing will happen. Like useless. You should exercise, your body. This is better than reading Bhagavad Gita. It's a shloka this Vivekananda used to speak or something. Não leia Bhagavad Gita, faça exercícios físicos. So you should to do physical exercises and exercise your body. This will be better for you than reading scriptures. Vivekananda used to say this. What he preached in Western countries? Vivekananda, what he preached in the Western countries? People in the Western countries is atheist. They're atheists. And he said that Brahma is nirvikara nirvishesh. Vivekananda told the Western people, Brahma is nirvikara nirvishesh. You can eat whatever you like. You can eat whatever you like. Eat meat or fish, whatever you want. So his mission is called Murgi mission, like chicken mission. So he called the Ramakrishna mission Murgi mission. The chicken, because they eat the chicken. They eat eggs as well. These people. So Srila Brahmacharya, he told this in this big assembly full of these people there. So all the people of Vivekananda, Ramakrishna, they even start throwing stones at him. And so much, everybody like, ooh, booing. Booing, they say, no, booing. Something like that. After that, everybody became like more calm, but still. De alguma forma, depois as coisas tranquilizaram, but... People were thinking, you're criticizing a sadhu like this. Because you should not criticize anyone. Okay, what is ninda? What is criticism? First, let's consider this. Tell me, what is a ninda? Criticizing. For example, a person is not a thief, and the person is not a thief. If the person is not a thief and you tell he's a thief, then this criticism or not? And if the person is a thief and you tell him he's a thief, then this is a criticism. For example, the person didn't steal anything, he's not a thief, but you tell him that he's a thief. This is criticism. But somebody stole and you tell he's a thief, this is not ninda, not criticism. A person is like evil, bad, and you just tell him he's like evil or bad. So what is the definition of the ninda, criticism? It's like this. What is the meaning actually? Because this conception of Vivekananda is not according to the Shastra. It's a Shastra vichara, like out of the Shastras. He's just speaking whatever he was thinking in his mind. The Tulasi is so dear to God, And you're saying, what will happen if you give water to Tulasi? Like this, completely against religious principles. What will happen if you just read the Gita? What is the benefit of reading Gita? Just play football and be soccer, and then you'll be healthy. And 2 hours just do exercise and play football, soccer. He was saying this, Vivekananda was saying this. This is against the scriptures. Sometimes I say one person. No, it was an English person. First time he came into our country, one British person. He learned Bengali. He learned a little bit Bengali because he stayed with the Bengalis, so he learned Bengali. And one Bengali, he was giving water to Tulasi plant. One Bengali was doing that. Then this British said, "What is this? The Tulasi." Because if by watering tulsi, bhakti will come. This British person said, hey, what is this bhakti? But in India, you just worship these trees and think this is bhakti. And this tulsi is like nothing inside this tulsi, nothing. So this British, he uprooted, no sorry, like uprooting, like taking out the tulsi from the ground like this. You see, your Thakurji didn't say anything about your tulsi plant, what I did. Then the Bengali said, oh, okay. And there was one plant nearby called bichuti. Do you know this plant bichuti? I think it's uchikari. If you touch this plant, your hand become itching. So much itching. Here there's also this plant. Uchikari in Portuguese. But anyway, it's a plant that if you touch, you become itching, all your body itching because you touch this plant. She says Datura, the lady saying, no. Então não sei qual é o nome da planta. Okay. If you just a little bit touch this leaf of this plant, you'll become itchy. So this Bengali is very clever. So he said, look, my tulsi is very calm. Listen, hey. The tulsi is very peaceful. Look, she forgive you and doesn't say anything. The Bengali told the British. But near the tulsi, the Bengali put this itchy plant. And okay, this bichuti plant, this itchy plant. This plant will not tolerate. She's like Shivaji and will be angry. This Bengali told the British. My tulsi is very simple and she gives mercy to everyone. Whatever you do, she's another person in China. But this bichuti, this other tree, she's just like the Shivaji, manifest anger. So don't touch her. This British said, oh no, this is all useless. No, I don't believe. Then so the tulsi is your Thakurji and also there's another plant. You're these Hindus. Whenever there's any plant, you want to water any plant and doing the parikrama to any plant. I will uproot this tree as well, this plant. So he was like lifting, like uprooting the plant. So I tell you one thing. Then the Bengali said, look, put in your body. And also at the same, chastise you at that moment. Yeah, she's like Shivaji. You know, Shivaji doesn't use any cloth. Bengali was saying British person. So if some person without cloth, like ele estava enxigando ele, yeah. If you put this in your body, you see what will happen. Like he was like telling this, and the British, oh no, this is nothing. I don't believe. And then the British took out his cloth, just put it first. He's already red color, you know, this British, because the British people they are red. And when he was starting doing this, like hitting himself with the leaf just to prove wrong that the Bengali was wrong, then he started asking for help, please save me, because he started itching so much. So some people they think like this. So the Siddha Swarupa Brahmachari, when he started speaking about the Vivekananda people, about some Ramakrishna mission, when he spoke against them, people started throwing stones to him. And then they were saying, oh, Brahmachari, you need to give Shastra Praman, evidence of the scriptures of what you're saying. When to listen? Because some people, they are knowledgeable. They want to listen. They want to listen like exactly what is behind the things he's saying. Like, so one Brahmachari was with him. I forgot his name. Then he sent a telegraph to Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. Oh, so Siddha Swarupa Brahmachari came here and destroyed our preaching. When Brahmachari told to Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. So he not get any donation here, any donation. Because, you know, they ask donations for the parikrama, like rice, sabji. But in this area, nobody will give anything. He completely destroyed all our preaching here. When Brahmachari told to Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada about Siddha Swarupa Brahmachari. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, no, Siddhaswarup Brahmachari. He did us a crore rupia, like a billion rupees donation he gave us now. You can. Then how? Then call everyone and tell that I'm coming and I'll discuss them and we'll establish the Sastra Vichar. Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada told. Call everyone and say that I'm coming. And Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada came. Ananda Maharaj was there. Also some Maharaj was there, Ananda Maharaj. They put in a truck and wrote, oh, this is Veda Purana Upanishad, like in the truck, as if the truck were full of books. And there was a big assembly. Many people came. Advaitavadis, big sadhus, fat sadhus. And they showed, oh, look what is in the Shastra. And they gave evidence. So these saints, they did this kind of preachings. I should speak the truth in the preaching. Should not be fearful, should be fearless and speak the truth of the Shastra. If you don't speak the truth, just you're trying to you're being duplicity and hypocrisy, speaking lie to people actually just to get honor, respect and fame. Actually you're not doing good for you and also for others. So how is this conception of these great personalities? I didn't get so much of his association, only one or two times. I have the darshan, the good fortune of having the darshan of his transcendental body in Navadvip. So the transcendental lives of this kind of Mahapurushas, their conceptions, their specialities, this idealism of them. He wrote also many books, like the Vedanta Darshan, for example. He was the first that, the Vedanta Darshan, Vedanta Sutra, about with the commentary of Baladeva Vidyabhushan Prabhu and all. Nobody in Gaudiya Mata had already manifested that. He was the first. Also, 13 Upanishads also. He manifested the book with commentary also of 13 Upanishads. Bhagavad Gita also and many other books. How can we understand the inner core of the saints? Inner core of hearts means the bhav inside their hearts of the saints. We can understand through their books. For example, we didn't meet Rupa Goswami, but how to understand the bhav of Rupa Goswami? If we study, read his books. Gurudeva used to tell one thing, look, when a person speaks katha, he's not presenting the evidences when the person is speaking katha. Because when you speak katha, you'll speak according to the listeners. But when you are writing, when you write, then you have to write in a sequence, for example. You have to follow some conception, some line of thought like this. When you're speaking, okay, it's different. But when you're writing, like making a written work, we have to make it pramanik, means full of evidence like this. Because sometimes you speak something, slip of tongue, like, for example, you left the main subject of the Harikatha and you went speaking another katha, and you just speak about another thing. It's not the main Harikatha. But when you write a book, you have to give examples of the scriptures and have to quotate from the Shastra when you write a book. For example, this shloka is the Bhagavatam. And when I speak, I don't need to say, oh, this shloka is from Bhagavatam, from another Puran. But when you write the Grantha, then you have to give the evidence. For example, Rupa Goswami. He wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All the shlokas he wrote, he gave the quotation of the shlokas. This shloka is from Bhagavatam, etc. Sometimes he even quoted the shlokas from his own other books. Ele citava versos de outros livros que ele tinha escrito já. Rupa Goswami. So, for example, what is Shraddha, all these definitions, Bhava, Prem. Because Rupa Goswami was writing everything with examples and give quotations also. So I want to say that the meaning. The bhajana sadhana of the person depends on his literary work, like what he wrote in his life. Because not easy to write a book. The writers of Mathura world, they just write some imaginary things. How, like, for example, a horse is flying in the sky. You know, people of this world, the writers, they just write anything. But how to get evidence, like, for what they are saying, you know? For example, our horse is flying in the sky. Then they just write anything they want, you know, these mundane writers. What I want to say is that, the meaning of what I want to say is that I have to give the evidence of the Shastra Siddhanta. Some people of Babaji Sampradaya, they say, they say like this, Nizai Gaura Desham, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. This is the Mahamantra. They say the Mahamantra is the same. Some Babaji Sampradaya people, they say this. If you go to Radha Kund, you can see. They are chanting this. Nizai Gaura Desham, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. I will sing the name of everyone together. This is the Mahamantra. You know, we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They are doing this from their own minds, like whimsically. Whimsically. Have you never been to Radha Kunda? If you go to Radha Kunda, they are singing like this. Nitai Gaura Radhesha. You can see. They are chanting holy names for 24 hours. Also in the Samadhi of Haridas Thakur in Jagannath Puri. They also sing like this. Nitai Gaura Desham Hare Krishna Hare Ram. And other things as well. If you go to Gambhira as well, they're doing this. Where did you get this Mahamantra? Is in some Shastra, you can ask. If you ask them. They'll say, no, my Gurudev. He told me. But your Gurudev got this Mahamantra where? In his dream. You think getting the dream is enough? Otherwise everybody say, no, my Gurudev had the dream, and like everybody will say the same thing. You have the conception you follow should be according to the Shastra Siddhanta. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this, Amnaya Prahat Tatam Harim. Mahaprabhu, he wrote those 10 principles. So Amnaya Praha means, you know, is the instructions of Shastra obtained by the Guru Parampara, given by Guru Parampara. So you should not say anything by your mind. You have to have the logic of the scriptures. Everybody will say, oh no, my Gurudev said, should chant Nitai Gaura Radhesham. This is the Mahamantra. Some Babaji Sampradaya people, they say like this, no. The Shastra explains, Mahamantra has 16 names, 32 syllables. In Kali Yuga, Nam Sankirtana is important, and the Mahamantra has 16 names and 32. In the Kali Santana Upanishad, it's written about the Mahamantra. The book Kali Santana Upanishad describes the Mahamantra of Kali Yuga. So it's not in your mind whatever you think and you just follow that. No, you have to have the Shastra. Gurudev said when Brahmachari was reading, like speaking Harikatha, and wait, sometimes people, to attract the people who are listening the Katha, the speakers, they're quoting his Guru, saying like for example when you offer but almonds, I think. Yeah, almonds. So how you break that almond to give to Thakurji? How to offer to Thakurji? Then you see there was a shalagram. Then you take a shalagram and beat the almonds to try to break the almonds in the middle. And the shalagram Bhagavan and using to break the almonds. You take the shalagram to break the almonds. And then after that you eat the almonds. So what is the meaning? You think things in your mind, like you speak Guru Vaishnava name, but actually like you establish your own things saying the Guru's name. For example, Gurudev said that, blah, blah, blah. Gurudev said that. Many people, they do that. They just put, like Gurudev said, and they put their own things in, like whatever they think. Then Gurudev was there like, oh, when did I say this? Like before I said. So, like Gurudev is saying one thing, and Vaishnava says another thing, and Shastra says another thing. How will accept the Shastra Siddhanta? If Guru says one thing, Vaishnava another thing, Shastra another thing. Gurudev one time told. And Vaishnavas and Shastra, they say another thing. Which vichara you should accept? If Guru says one thing, Shastra or Vaishnava? Where the Shastra and Vaishnava are also there. But you should accept the Guru vichara, the conception of Guru. It's completely true. There's not any mistake in Gurudev's conception. So, but just now I said that you should not accept Guru instruction, vichar. So you should think like this. What Gurudev said, actually, we cannot understand his inner mood of what he's saying. For example, Upadeshamrita. In the commentary of the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one commentary is of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and another Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. Two commentaries of Upadeshamrita. Sometimes, if you read these commentaries, it looks like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying one thing and Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada is saying different thing from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Which vichara conception you should accept? Tell me. Then Bhakti Pragna Keshav Goswami Maharaj told about this. Although Bhaktivinoda Thakur, actually, there's not any difference and conflict between conception of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. Bhakti Pragna said this. But still, we should accept the conception of what my Gurudev said, Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. Bhakti Pragna said this. Why? Because the two conceptions are the same. But you should understand that through Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. So under the guidance of Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, actually you can accept the conception of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Under the guidance of Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. This is Guru Parampara. So which conception you should accept? For example, if Shastra and Guru are saying same, and Vaishnava different thing, then you should accept the conception of of the Guru and the Shastra. Like if they're more like Shastra, Guru, Vaishnava, three. If two think the same, then you accept that. And you can think, oh, I cannot understand actually the inner conception of the other, for example, of the Guru or the Vaishnava. Understand? So, for example, Jiva Goswami, he wrote about Sakya and Parakya. If you read the book of Jiva Goswami, for example, looks like the Sakya is foremost, more than Parakya. Looks like. But Mahaprabhu's conception is about Parakya Bhav. So, later, Jiva Goswami? Yeah. Jiva Goswami said, just because of other people, I had to speak more about Swakya. But actually, I think that best is Parakya. Jiva Goswami wrote later. Like just because of these people of this world, because actually in transcendental world there is not a fault in Parakya Bhav, but in this world somewhat faulty this Parakya Bhav in this world. In the transcendental world, this relationship between gopis and Krishna is Sakya? No, it's Parakyata Sambandha, means Paramurmud between gopis and Krishna in transcendental world. But actually the gopis are what? They are the own Swarupa Shakti of Krishna, expansion of Srimati Radhika. And there's no difference between Shakti and Shaktiman. Krishna is Shaktiman, Srimati Radhika is Shakti. No difference between them. So the Shaktiman is doing the Lila Vilas pastime with his own Shakti. It's himself. And he's just playing with his own. For example, just like a small boy playing with his own shadow, The Bhagavatam gives exactly this example. Parikshit Maharaj, he asked, he raised this question. Why Bhagavan? He did these things with the wife of others. What is the benefit for that, for this world? Parikshit said, Shukadev said, the ladies, the gopis, they are not parastri, they're not like wife of others. Para means topmost, and Sri means parastri, like this tree. This sounds tree actually means like a woman, means actually Shakti, potency. Like also you can also call your wife like this. She's my Shakti, like your potency. Another word for lady. So parastri means actually the gopis are not parastri like wife of others. Also can mean like this parastri. They are actually the topmost Shakti, supreme Shakti of Lord. Means the Shakti man is just playing with his Shakti. But in the Parakya is the speciality of the Rasamadurya, the sweetness mood manifests in the Parakya Bhav. Jiva Goswami in the Sandarbha, he showed all these vicharas. Parakya Bhava, Jiva Goswami in transcendental world. In transcendental world, Parakya Bhava is so sweet. And in this world, Parakya Bhav, like this Paramurmud, you take you to hell. And this contaminates the society. All people start behaving badly like this, like Parakya Bhav in this world, We should follow the rules of society like this. But in transcendental world, Krishna with his own potency, he's doing these leelas. That's why Shukadeva Goswami. How many slope? Which slope? Okay. He told to Parikshit Maharaj how Krishna was doing the leelas of the gopis, and there's no any fault in that. And I gave this example, Jata Arvakam. He's just like a small boy playing with his own shadow. Just like a small boy playing with his own shadow. So in the same way, Krishna himself, he's manifesting his Shakti, his potency, and playing with the Shakti. What is the problem? What is the mistake? What is the fault in that? Sometimes the Shakti of Krishna is inside Lord, and this is called Amurta, means it's not manifested. But when Krishna himself wants to make the leelas, according to his desire, Yogamaya manifests his Shakti like outside him, like in a form. The Shakti manifests like Murta, means the Shakti of Krishna makes a form, has a form. So sometimes the Shakti is Murta or Amurta, like manifested and unmanifested. Radha and Krishna are the same. Just like these nuts. The nuts. There are two parts of the nuts. But outside the nuts is like one. there's one thing covering the nuts, like the skin of the nuts, and it's like one, but when you open, it's two inside, two parts inside. For example, the seed of the mango. If you plant the seed of mango, when the mango tree starts growing, these two leaves which were inside the mango, actually they grow into two. But before it's like one part and grow into two, divide into two. So Radha Krishna and Radha Krishna are saying one Swarup, one together. One. Shrimati Radha Shakti, Krishna Shaktiman. But to make Leela, they manifest these two bodies. Krishna says, I am one. Ekwaham Bahusyami. I am one, but when I make the Leelas, I manifest many forms. Krishna says, Jiva Goswami, he wrote in Sandaka, I am one. Veda Purana Upanishad says that God is one without a second. Ekam eva adityam. God is one without a second. There's not any second thing. But to relish the Lila Ras, God manifests many forms. Innumerable forms. And he manifesting four forms, Bhagavan. So, four forms, yes. So this is there's a conception of Dvaitavad, dualism, and Advaitavad, demonism. So, but the Dvaitavad Vichara, like means the conception of this dualism is more prominent. Otherwise, the Leelas cannot happen. Now it's time for Arati.